So beyond earlier, you said we as New Zealand can look overseas and we can um, learn from what's happening overseas and implement in New Zealand. What were you referring to?
So in the early 2000s, I did a little bit of time in Melbourne. And when you just see, like, coming from Auckland, it felt like I was in a really came from a small town compared to a big city. And
We are a small town.
yeah, things just tend to work better, and so you just try and, like, I feel like
How so? How so? Give me a few examples.
just if you just take it from the wide view with general infrastructure working well, public transport working well. One thing that surprised me in Melbourne when I was an apprentice was I saw guys get on the train with a tool bag and get to work on their public transport and get to the site. And what the company would do was they would have a gear van arrive. So the guys didn't have to worry. You didn't have 20 tradesmen show up with 20 utes all looking for a spot to park. You had the guys just bring themselves in and had the gear there. Just little things like that, just unheard of here. And like you can extrapolate that out to so many different parts of the process, and actually seems less wasteful if you can, get some of those things happening.
Do you not think we punch above our weights for the amount of people we've got in New Zealand?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's why.
I mean, look at it, right? So we are what, 5 million people?
We are.
We have a landmass that is greater than that of the UK. Yep. So you have 5 million people's taxpayers' money to build roads for a landmass that is greater than that of the UK, and have enough telephone coverage, enough services, enough general infrastructure.
We do punch above our weight, and I think one of the problems with that is that we also lose a lot of our talent to doing that.
Interesting.
I think, I'm just thinking generally, not just in construction.
Yeah, brain drain's a serious problem in New Zealand. I'm not arguing it.
But I mean, I also think, though, that we tend to try and go it alone sometimes. I think that we tend to try and like come up with an idea in New Zealand all the time for our own problems, which part of it is, yes, it needs to have a local solution, but if there's a system already out there that's working, how come we're not picking them up and adopting them quicker or whatever, I find that.
What are some of the things you would implement?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
what would you look overseas for to bring back to New Zealand?
I mean, you've already seen a lot of it with a lot of the software stuff that's coming in is starting to get picked up, but I'd like to probably see a little bit more standardization across companies, so that every time I've moved, I've had to learn a new system, and as good as that is for the company that's doing, I don't always. I find that a lot of that is still inefficient. Still really downtime creating, and also can be frustrating while you're still trying to deliver on site. You're trying to learn a system as well. I mean, you've seen it yourself firsthand. Not all systems are smooth.
Yep.
And and you just want to remove as much friction as you can. You've got enough problems in construction delivering the actual product, let alone having your systems let you down. Or,
but that's never going to happen, is it? So you're asking 30 different construction companies to all use the same systems?
No, not all use the same systems, but maybe a similar approach.
Yeah.
I've found one thing I have found is we have still got quite a really strong top-down approach, like, do as I say, not as I do all the time in some of these organizations. And, to me, I think sometimes when the information gets fed up and it gets picked up by the guys and those guys get helped, it actually improves the output, the efficiency, the mood, the morale on site. Because sometimes the guys feel on site, especially when you're on a job that's got a tight time frame and a lot of guys.
Do you think that's a New Zealand problem?
Oh, no, I'd say it'd be construction in general, wouldn't it?
It is pretty much construction in general all over the world, though, isn't it? Like, why do you think that is, though?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Just I think that, everyone's got different KPIs and they're all kind of focusing on their part of the problem. So, and if you're part of the problem, if you're, a manager and you're dealing with the high level things and the guy's feeding information back up to you or saying, we want to deal with this little issue, that might just be going over your head because it's not part of your scope of thinking.
Yeah, interesting. What else is there that you would look to the overseas market to solve the New Zealand problems that we've got today?
I don't know, maybe just maybe our approach to labour. I'm not sure whether, whether we've got our labour management too good
Yep.
at the moment,
Yep. Do you have any ideas to like stop the brain drain from happening in New Zealand?
I don't know, maybe from a real broad perspective, I think that New Zealand's kind of got a real boom and bust cycle.
Okay.
Some of them older cities don't seem to have that. Seems to be, we seem to have, we rocket off and then we come back down pretty quickly with a bit of a crash. And then when things are low, and there's not work, people leave the industry and some people don't come back. So maybe we've just got to soften the trajectory and the descent.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be it'll be interesting to see when the next boom and bust cycle is. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like COVID had
That does happen quite a bit in New Zealand though, eh?
Yeah. I mean, COVID created a boom with just the money and the fact that no one could go anywhere. So, people kind of, got stuck in locally. But I think you've already noticed a bit of a softening on that mindset. People are not trying to, create at that breakneck speed as they were, 2020, 2021.
Yeah, with these interest rates, mate.
Yeah, well, not just with the interest rates, but with you couldn't do anything else. Construction could only just work, but, you couldn't go anywhere on the weekends or anything. So people were kind of tunnel visioned and, we're sort of normalizing back to don't have to do that right now.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting insights.